Welcome to the Nameless Voices podcast. This is episode number 50, a number I did not think we would see on this show. Yippee!
Yeah!
My name's Nanashi. I'll be your host for the evening, and I apologize in advance for whatever this extended-length show is going to be. Joining me tonight, we have a menagerie of gaggle fucks and card floppers. Starting at the top of the list alphabetically, he is our TCG slut. It's AI Ignister.
I am in it for the rush.
I bet you are. Get set to get decked.
It's the wrong catchphrase. It's get your gay on.
We have our living Yugi shitpost, Connor Lockhart.
Boy, Raven's the living shitpost, not me.
I said Yugi shitpost. He's the shitpost that exists. You're the shitpost that exists in card game form.
Fair enough.
We have our fellow furry Yugi tuber, Mr. Roy Calcos.
Formerly Mr. Owakaucos, it's now Jose Owakaucum.
You are officially taking that name, huh?
Yep. I even made that name change quite a while back on my YouTube, so...
Just making sure you're actually sticking with it, you know?
Understandable. Have a great day.
Yeah. He has our wild child. It is Lone.
Hey, we have a new student here.
Yeah, somebody just came in right before the bell rang.
Yeah, now they won't get detention.
And it's Phoenix Reborn.
Now with 20% more vegans and veggie burgers.
Dragon rulers.
Oh, God. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, I think we still have nightmares about them.
I think we all do.
I don't.
No.
We have our silent but deadly partner. It's Rom. Yeah, we are. We have our living meme of existence, Raven.
God, I'm such a meme that the shit poster of Yugimons subscribed to me even though I have no content in my backlog.
Wonderful.
I look over, like, check my phone, like, I see I got a notification. Connor Lockhart subscribed to you on YouTube.
And we have our electric cheese wedge artist, Zibeth.
Yeah, a prototypical boy learned to do artsies.
Wonderful. This might be the only time I need to be concerned about whether or not your art is AI or not.
It's not.
Okay.
How dare you?
Doesn't look it.
I'm just saying. When you think about it, is a biological organism, is an electronic organism drawing technically AI art? It's one of those things where you wonder if robots dream of electric sheep.
I mean, you could have a point. Interesting.
Now you deadass have me thinking about this.
Oh, yeah, and to make it worse, today is Friday the 13th.
God, this gotta be
I
the
legitimately
funny...
did not notice that.
Everyone, let's summon
so
Jason.
Happy birthday, Jason.
This is the funniest stream because it's Friday the 13th. During the show, the Amazing Digital Circus is gonna premiere, and right now, Doobus Goobus uploaded a new video.
Oh, God.
Amazing.
And that's not all.
Digital Circuses today.
Yeah.
I almost forgot that.
And then let's not forget that also Sword Art Online Abridged is uploading episode 18 today.
Wait, finally?
Oh, joyous occasion.
Why we don't make this a watch stream instead of a podcast?
I would love to, but I am not set up for it, even if I wanted to.
The only thing missing now is an upload from Little Karibo.
Oh, he'll upload the latest episode of reviewing GX episodes.
None of YuGiOh Bridge.
He also uploads GX reviews.
Yeah, he has like two different kinds of content now. So, speaking of content, let's start this off right. First off, this stream and my channel is sponsored by BearClawsWorld.com, a coloring book of 52 pages of hand-drawn stuff based on medieval Dungeons & Dragons, good old-fashioned stuff. Perfect for the holidays if you decide you want to get your hands on that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just address the elephant in the room real quick. Thank you, by the way, Rom. Some of you might have noticed that I uploaded a new video onto my channel that has nothing to do with anything I've talked about or done in any of my previous videos. And that's because I am now doing a tabletop module for a role-playing game called Fate. Specifically, Fate Core. Oh, we lost someone.
Who left?
Funny you should say that. I'm actually working on something for a tabletop campaign.
Welcome back.
Coming soon.
And, well, I'm glad to hear that, man. Oh, you grabbed it. Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
Wait, what's this?
That is the Session 0 combat test of my new module called Fate Prism.
No.
Interesting.
See, it uses flavor from Dungeons & Dragons, which is the most famous tabletop role-playing game in existence, I think, and a lesser-known system called Fate, which is more based on making story interesting and making the characters more involved. The story can be written and evolved by the characters a lot more freely than something like D&D, which 98% of which is pre-structured and has very little delineation unless the game master wants it to. So I decided to finally share this little recording session that I did. So why don't we go ahead and start diving into the topics. First up, Christmas is right around the corner.
Hey. One of my favorite times of the year. If not my favorite.
Yeah, I understand that completely. Problem is, I'm probably going to be working for Christmas again.
Well, just be lucky you survived the most unholy day, Black Friday.
Blech. I used to work in a store. I know how that day goes.
Eesh. Well, at least on the plus side, at least it makes my Monday working days busy.
Got that right. So I'm sure. Let's go ahead and start with some of these nasty topics and work our way up to the better ones. First off, how many of you guys know about Peanut the Pet Squirrel?
No.
Oh, we're bringing that up.
I'm going to try and be as apolitical about this as I can be because there's a lot to go over, but I'm going to condense it, so just work with me on this. First off, there was a guy in New York who adopted a pet squirrel, and his name was Peanut. What happened is that somebody called the police and said he had an illegal pet, and they came in and took it away.
No, don't skim around. They didn't take the squirrel; they killed it and his raccoon, which he had.
I was getting to that. I didn't get that far yet. Now, as I was saying, they took the squirrel and they euthanized it. Apparently, and it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, this was considered overreach by the police. So much so that his owner is now suing the state of New York.
Indeed.
Which I think is a step in the right direction.
I agree.
Absolutely good.
So hopefully something comes out of this.
New York Police Department, whenever an actual crime happens in the streets, I sleep. When a man has a supposedly illegal animal, oh, real shit. I'm awake, I'm active.
Alright,
And when that supposed illegal animal is a squirrel, asunder.
So, now, next up, this is something that's been going on for a while, but now it's kind of reached a head. You guys know that Visa and Mastercard have been trying to do their hardest to keep adult art and Japanese-related media from overseas from reaching America unless they meet certain criteria, which is what's been happening to places like Patreon, right?
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, as it happens, it has gotten so bad, YuGiOh Taro, and I'm sure you guys recognize this name, spoke out about it and has started a huge deal about it.
Oh.
Yeah, so no, this might get big.
Oh.
Something
I sense
might...
a big old lawsuit.
Oh, yeah. And on the subject of lawsuits, Ubisoft is getting sued twice over.
Good.
No.
Yeah, good.
First off, for shutting down the game called The Crew, and another one for sharing their user data with Meta.
Yeah, they're going at the top of the Fiery Joker's 2024 fails list.
I
Oh,
can
yeah.
understand.
Calling it
Honestly,
now.
I think there are worse fails from this year than just some data being sold to Meta, which has been shown.
It's illegal.
Finish. I wanted to point out something funny, but finish.
Like, from what we know, Facebook mainly only uses other people's data just to give you more ads.
Well, yeah. Why else would they?
And there's all this hullabaloo about, it sucks that your data is being tracked, but the funny thing is that most of these people that track your data only want to use it to sell you ads and nothing more.
I've said it before, and I will say it again. It may not seem like a big deal, and you may not have anything to hide within your data, but your data is yours to protect. Therefore, we don't want it being taken from us for no reason, especially not for the profit of some company we don't even want to have anything to do with beyond what bare minimums we care about.
Oh, up your prank call game. Rom. Here's a good one. Recite the entire B movie script.
Oh, God.
The entire B movie script in reverse. Get the fuck out of them.
In Greek.
Got a spam call, and they hung up before I even finished the first sentence.
I started imitating them and talking like them. I can do a decent India accent if I'm incentivized enough, and these people interrupting me at 4:30 in the afternoon when I'm trying to sleep for a night shift is incentive.
Why
Now-
you should block the numbers?
I do. And speaking of overseas,
Can I say
we are
something real
still
quick?
sticking to the Japanese topic just a little bit longer because they recently approved an anime and manga Anti-Piracy AI project costing them $2 million.
Okay, that's actually kind of like that. That's actually not a bad way to use AI. I will fully confess.
It's
but
not...
wait, I can't
Okay,
I can't
conceptually... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can't see animes for free anymore because I can't pirate it.
Conceptually, it makes sense. And using
Yeah.
AI for this purpose makes sense as well, but there's going to be a lot of problems coming from that, and not to mention...
That is very true. I mean...
There is no real way to make this work 100% perfectly. It's going to have repercussions, especially if you're going to get AI involved. It is an imperfect art.
It might hit
course.
YouTube videos.
Also, I still criticize that because the only reason so many unlicensed animes make it to the West is because of this piracy sites, and only get attraction thanks to that, or they wouldn't even survive in their own country.
Ugh, there's a lot to go over
mean-
when it comes to that, honestly, but
Yeah, honestly, my stance on AI is still mixed. Like, it still does have its good uses, but the problem is that I see and hear so much of how it's being misused by people and companies that it's why AI has such a bad reputation in the eyes of many.
Brian,
There's too
I agree.
funny you mentioned that. While we're still on the topic of AI, a couple of things to go over. First off, have you guys seen the fully AI Coca-Cola commercial?
Unfortunately, and they're getting back.
That's the thing with AI. You typically want to use it as a tool to help you in some sort of regard, or use it as a cross-reference for the final project. But using it as the entire template as a completed work is not going to work. I've seen the Coca-Cola commercial.
Yeah.
It's not work.
It's fine if you're like nearsighted and can't see it clearly, but my god, it does not look good. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, I've seen it and I'm like,
oh, it looks like we got a first-time watcher, first-time chatter, Deskbot 007. Welcome in. Let's see.
Welcome.
Now, while we're staying on the subject of AI real quick, there's something else. We also have our very first full AI-made movie. It's called... okay.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, Where the Robots Grow, I think is the name of it, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
Hold up. Now I need to ask, because the same dude who made the Bad It's Good movie of Joshua and the Promised Land
Oh, God.
also made a full-on AI series that's on YouTube. It's called Indestructible,
Yeah.
and it is a site. I know Saberspark recently went over it,
Yeah.
and it was a site I couldn't. He wasn't joking when he said he couldn't follow it because every second the main cast will swap up because they're all made in AI. And then even the plot line is just... I couldn't even tell you what it was even right now, and I'm the one talking about.
Also, hello, Sick. I didn't realize that was you. But good to have you here. Let's see. On the subject of movies, though, let's go ahead and go over a couple of these. We got a bunch of trailers recently. Ice Age 6.
Oh no! Please stop beating that dead horse. It just needs to let it die already, please.
It's like
Never. It's making way too much money.
It's like Shrek.
Listen, Shrek has been good throughout. I feel
Yeah,
like the iffy one is Shrek the Third, and even then it's like whatever.
First rule of Shrek: we don't talk about Shrek the Third.
Let's not.
The thing is, Shrek the Third is like hit or miss depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's
Let's...
like Devil May.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Nanashi, your podcast most likely now gets demonetized because of that 1 second me accidentally make my window small because of my PC background.
Oh, God.
By the way, Helix, I completely agree with that. With what you say.
Also, let's be real here. When we heard Shrek 5 was going to be released on the same day as Toy Story 5, which one were you more hyped about? Because Toy Story should have ended at 3. That should have been it.
Shrek.
You know what I'm going to watch?
Yeah, it
What-
really.
You want to know which one I'm going to watch? I'm going to watch whatever's on the internet.
Based answer.
Well, duh. Who here has the money to go to the theaters anymore?
Tell me about it.
Or wants to deal with all those people?
Let's see. Then,
The only movie that I really saw by myself this year was Transformers 1.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie.
it's not bad.
Yeah, that's really good. Like,
Yeah.
wow. And it's
The most recent movie I've seen in theaters was Red 1.
Fair enough.
Oh, you poor unfortunate soul.
Yeah.
Oh no,
The-
I liked it a fair amount.
The thing is with Red 1, it's a Dwayne Johnson action movie, so you're either gonna like it, hate it, or just be neutral with it.
Imagine
That's
this.
fair.
It's just another
It's basically-
Dwayne Johnson movie.
It really
Who
is.
are
yeah,
all the same at this
the rest
point.
is coming out.
And yes, Yohohoi Kaizaku. Yarhar Fiddly Dee. Thank you.
Sonic
But
3 and Knuckles.
getting back on topic with other movies, the trailer, we saw some more stuff for the Popeye horror film.
Oh, wait, that's Popeye a horse?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a thing.
Oh,
Following the
Because of course
pathway
that-
of
because of
Winnie
course
the
Popeye
Pooh,
entered
Blood
public
and Honey's
domain.
success, we're gonna see a Popeye live-action horror film.
I
We're
didn't
gonna
know
see.
Popeye-
We're gonna.
I didn't know
we're-
Popeye's thing was out. Ran out.
I wanna
We're
say
going to see
something.
Popeye, Peter Pan, and Bambi.
Oh God.
Peter Pan, like,
I want to say something.
Sure. What's up?
yeah.
Like, before the age of stuff like... I'm sorry. Before the age of stuff like Blood and Honey and the upcoming Steamboat Willie horror movie,
Oh yeah.
people were all for the public domain because of how badly Disney screwed up with this to protect their precious mouse.
Mhm.
But as soon as as soon as the Blood and Honey series came out and rumors of a survival horror game based on Steamboat Willie were announced, everyone suddenly began to hate the public domain. Which is
Yeah.
a stupid fucking response, considering that you can do a fair amount of good things with public domain stuff.
Dude,
You really
I'm
can.
be real here. Given how there's already a creepy atmosphere of the Peter Pan, you could make that into a survival horror game with the public domain.
Yeah.
and
No
also,
kidding.
Yeah,
also
the
the
big issue isn't
art.
the public domain itself, But the main problem is that people are fucking lazy
Yeah.
and hacks.
All right. Well,
You know what? True.
moving
And
in-
sorry, real
No,
quick,
go ahead.
for Peter Pan survival horror game, you'd have to enter like the more darker aspects because, well, you gotta enter the territory of main protagonist is a kid who gets swept away to Neverland and realizes that it's all fucked up, has to escape.
Very easy to make a movie based on that alone. But going back to the list, there's also the new How to Train Your Dragon live-action movie, which looks pretty damn good.
Oh, I saw
Mhm.
people complaining about that, but at the same time, it's like, well, Disney is not going to stay faithful when they make their live-action remakes, and DreamWorks is already killing all of the Disney trailers with this one alone. Like, did you see the ratio Disney got with Snow White's live-action trailer?
Yeah, let's
I'll be right back.
take your time,
Let's talk
man.
about the
That's
one.
quite a mistake they made.
Oh, that's
can I
putting
say
it
something?
lightly.
Can I say something
You're
about that real
being
quick?
too nice.
So I saw Moana 2 in theaters, and then when I saw the keep in mind, I never saw anything related to the Snow White the live action series aside from the allegations. And oh my god, why
Yeah.
the dwarves just look so ugly.
Yeah. They tried to do something
also-
and they failed.
Yeah, so
And
first
also-
trailer, it was just a bunch of short people of like different races and whatnot. And then next trailer, they did it all in CGI, and it looks uncanny valley.
It really does.
Okay, here's the thing I want to say. This is because of well, a couple of years back, Peter Dinklage said that people with dwarfism shouldn't just be exclusively played as fantasy dwarves. But it's not his fault that studios are fucking stupid and misinterpret it like, oh, let's not use little people actors to play fantasy dwarves ever again, because that might be offensive to little people.
So let's use
And
AI
it's
generated.
not, apparently.
It's not even AI; it's just CGI. It's not even
yeah,
done
it's
well.
just-
It's bad.
Crappy CGI.
I mean, realistically, at that point, we'd be better off with dwarf actors because at least they look the part and don't look disturbing.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it?
37.
It's so bad that it's honestly rivaling YouTube Rewind 2018 with how much dislikes it had.
Yeah. But,
And as for Moana 2, it's nice to see Disney revive the classic of planning to make a TV show, hearing that not having enough resources to actually make that show, and taking the few episodes they have, stitch them together into a loose plot, and bim bam bosh.
yep,
You got a new movie.
pretty much.
Well, I mean, Moana 2 was just overall fine. I don't have really major problems with it, aside from how they handled the Bat Lady.
Well, you
like,
gotta
they have
remember,
to up
dude,
to-
some of us haven't seen that movie.
Nah.
I
Oh, yeah.
haven't seen it, but I'm not really fussed on watching it.
Neither am I, but at the same time, if anybody else out there wants to watch it, I don't want to ruin their experience. That's my policy on it. But let's continue down the list. There's also the new Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up.
Oh yeah, to distract us from Wile E. Coyote versus Acme being destroyed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then let's not forget that the people who star in that movie are just Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. Like, you can't have a decent Looney Tunes series or movie without Bugs Bunny.
This is true.
But I will acknowledge, whoever it is that's voicing Daffy and Porky nowadays are fantastic. They are fantastic.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
keep it 100% with you, Warner Brothers. This will not make us forget about Coyote versus Acme.
Nope,
No.
tragedy.
The worst part about that getting axed like it did for tax cuts, the voice actors had already like done their job and were awaiting the paychecks.
Yeah.
And then they just got the news that, well, sorry, the finished product and all of your recordings just shit. They got flushed down the toilet. They'll see you chuckle fucks later.
That's
Or
fucked
Honestly,
up.
It would be hilarious if the director sued.
Speaking of see you later, you guys have been hearing all the shit that's been going on with Crunchyroll, right?
Oh
Yes.
boy.
What's been going on with Crunchyroll?
It's
Wait,
very
people
simple
still use Crunchyroll?
because some people don't know there are better options. So,
I
David
can't
Wald,
find
the voice actor for YuGiOh from Fairy Tail, had to quit Crunchyroll because they were tampering with his fan mail, and Crunchyroll has taken away the free watch options from a lot of their series.
Even One Piece?
From what I've heard.
Yeah, especially One Piece.
Oh, time for
dear.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That can only end so well.
God, imagine a voice actor from the most mid-anime ever just telling you that you all suck and I'm quitting.
Hey, to be fair,
Hey, now I
Fairy Tail
actually
is
enjoyed
not
Fairy Tail when I was younger.
I think everybody did.
I didn't watch Fairy Tail, so
Oh, somebody is asking what
One
option
Piece.
is better than Crunchyroll?
Piracy sites.
Literally
should say that.
anything at this point.
do what you want because a pirate is free.
Can literally
Hello?
direct you to a piracy site after the show if you want that I use.
Yeah, we
This
will.
was an
Oh,
this
yes,
was an
please,
under-the-table
I need the
deal.
new- I
But
did
wait.
the new one as well after the old anime site I used got shut down thanks to the new oiling all the websites to the government.
Tell you what, if you guys want to drop
Yummy
links to those
hotties.
places, drop them into the anime and manga section of this server, and we'll start talking about them. You know.
Mhm.
But back on topic, though. Let's talk about Twitter for about 2 seconds. You guys heard that they
Oh,
lost
no,
about
another
20% of their
Exodus.
active users in the U.S. and 33% in the U.K. Right?
I'm part of
I
that
believe
20%.
You hear that Elon has been shadow banning people with Bluesky in their user tag or description?
Yes.
That was going to be the next
Oh,
point
yeah.
that I brought up. And as it happens, Bluesky is now the #1 free app in the system, whereas Twitter is now not even in the top 25.
That was the problem.
Someone
was the
is salty,
problem.
it seems.
Yeah, no kidding.
We all throw our heads back and laugh. Ready, everyone?
Ready?
Ha! No.
No. When you do the laugh, you gotta laugh like Mandark. Really make it dramatic.
No. No,
All
we
right.
have to give we have to give proper South African laughter.
I can't.
Ha! Let's all laugh at them ridiculously.
That's
Oh!
Let me just dodge.
It bothers me that
This is
everybody
not
knows that
for,
George of the
which
Jungle
is
reference,
great.
but no one here has probably seen George of the Jungle except like 2 of us.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've
haven't
seen George
seen
of the
it.
Jungle.
Thank you.
I didn't
I have
like it,
not
but
seen
it
Aw.
was
the way
there.
through.
All right. Well, let's talk some video game news because there's a few things here to go over. First off, you remember how last cast we talked about the Ryujinx Switch emulator getting shut down? Well, apparently now Nintendo owns it.
Oh dear.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and Sony is apparently attempting to buy Kadokawa Studios, which made Elden Ring. At first, it was a rumor. It looks like there's some weight behind it.
This can only end well. And by well, I mean it will only go down the drain.
Well,
I think
we'll
Sony has
just
them.
have to see.
This fraud game Elden Ring lived long enough. I mean, I was glad that they got completely shoved at the Game Awards last night.
Well, they had tough competition, but they are releasing a second game by the
won the
looks
game?
of it.
Looks like it.
Astrobot.
Oh, please not.
Well, then there's also another bit of Ubisoft news. They're shutting down XDefiant.
Boo.
No idea what that is.
Don't worry about it.
yeah, I
Nobody
was
else
gonna-
did either.
Because we're on the topic of video game, there was something I want to point out earlier, but I didn't get the chance to because we were moving topics. Funny. Back in ye old early 2000s, it was always like, oh, Ubisoft is amazing, the new Assassin's Creed is like good, or like, oh, Blizzard's doing really well this year. EA gets brought up, oh, fuck that place, fuck them, they suck. Nowadays, it's like, Blizzard sucks, Ubisoft is the worst. EA has been on their best behavior, so they're kind of based.
I was actually going to say, yeah, for some reason, EA has decided you know what? We fucked up for a few decades. Let's finally get our shit together.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
And the funny thing is that it's translating to decent product.
Dude, the choices they've made, like starting from 20, really, they remade Dead Space, and then they gave us the entirety of Mass Effect with all of its DLC.
It's almost it's almost like making good decisions leads to profit and happy customers. Who'da thunk?
And then in that same year, you just have Blizzard shitting the bed, especially with Overwatch, and you hear that their business practices may as well be rebranding them to Diddy Incorporated, which is going to be the weirdest choice for a show title, but whatever.
It's in the list.
Diddy's Evil Incorporated.
But Blizzard has such as with World of Warcraft again. I think Phil Spencer just pumps all resources into World of Warcraft because he knows the rest can't be saved by Blizzard.
Yeah.
Funny thing too. Blizzard is shitting the bed more because as soon as Marvel Rivals came out, they tried saying that they were ripping off Overwatch just by like Black Widow gameplay footage. And it's like, my guy, it's Black Widow. What rock have you been living on?
Also,
wait, I remember that.
You did not invent the hero shooter genre. Valve did with Team Fortress 1 back in the 90s.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Someone was like, Blizzard's gonna start shitting the bed in fear when Valve enters the topic of copying people.
Yo.
All right.
No, but real talk.
That's what Nintendo's doing with Palworld.
All right, well, getting back on topic again. As it happens, Rom already beat me to the next topic, which was that Rocksteady is ending Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League in January, and nothing of value is lost.
That game doesn't exist. We swore an oath that we would ignore that game's existence like an unwanted baby.
Let me say my
That game
piece.
was just garbage.
Let me say my piece.
Sure.
This is what you get for hiring Sweet Baby.
Absolutely 100% disagree with that because
listen. I'll finish, Connor.
Because see, Sweet Baby Inc. are a consulting company, and thus Rocksteady had the free will and authority to take in whatever criticism they wanted to take in. The problem is that the game is a live service game, a genre of games where everyone is sick and tired of.
Yep.
Put in the shit ass release window. And the gameplay actually not terrible, but the story is badly done.
I think Goose said it best. No one kills the best Batman and gets a good game out of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, the moment you try to give me some bullshit like Batman on the park bench is when I just say, fuck you forever, I'm never going to acknowledge your existence.
I'm pretty sure everyone treated the death of this game like, oh no. Anyway.
Pretty much. Now,
but as I said on Ori's server, blaming Sweet Baby for Kill the Justice League sucking ass is like blaming Sophie Ellis Baxter for Saltburn sucking ass. Yes, both of those products do, but those two basically barely had any involvement.
True. All right, so next up, let's talk about the things that we have coming up that are kind of cool. Tekken 8 apparently just included Final Fantasy XVI's Clyde.
Well, that's cool.
It's a DLC fighter.
Apparently. Let's see. We just saw the trailer for Borderlands 4.
Yeah, that trailer was amazing.
Borderlands 4, and then there was also The Witcher 4.
There was also
The Witcher 4 I haven't seen yet. I have watched 2, but Borderlands 4 I directly wishlisted on Steam.
They also dropped the trailer for Mai Shiranui for Street Fighter 6.
And they also gave us the announcement that Okami is finally getting a sequel.
Let's go!
Okami
I have
too.
not played the original game, to be fair.
The original
About
game
that,
is one of those really stylistic games. It's a fantastic game and it's beautiful, but it takes a little getting used to.
Yeah,
No,
and the
get on.
controls haven't aged all that well, so an improved a sequel, let alone one that's made after all the advances that came in with the industry since Okami was released, sounds like a fucking amazing thing.
It certainly does.
Okami,
Yo,
Okami
but
based
one
on
thing,
Devil May Cry.
one thing that I'm actually hype about and might actually get a PS5 for, Onimusha.
Yeah, I
Is-
was gonna say that. I was surprised when they announced a new game for that series because, goddamn, it's been locked to the PS2 and hasn't had a new game since.
Yeah,
I don't even know what Onimusha is.
Onimusha
Neither
is
do I.
basically a character action game set in a dark Japanese fantasy setting where you fight demons.
It is Doggo.
All right, so there is one last piece of news I wanted to talk about real quick because I personally think it's kind of cool. They have apparently discovered a nearly perfectly preserved saber-toothed tiger cub in Russia.
Oh, that is cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Now,
Are we gonna do the cloning process and bring them back, or?
not a clue yet. They literally just discovered it. But what they have known from this analysis is that first off, it's only 3 weeks old, which means we now know a tremendous amount about its growth. It has almost perfectly preserved brown fur, which means that we now know that that was a fact. And there are built-in slots in its mouth from as early as cubhood as to where saber-tooth fangs can grow in.
Wow.
So a lot of the stuff that we thought we knew about saber-teeth are apparently accurate. And I find that fascinating for reasons I really don't want to get into right now because we'd be here all night.
yeah, like
That's the one. 32,000 years old, nearly perfectly preserved.
yeah, but I'm a little cautious because once we try stuff,
Yeah, I think we've all seen Jurassic Park enough to know that that's a bad idea.
yeah,
Well, honestly,
Yeah.
the reason I personally am not afraid of people cloning saber-tooth tigers, mainly because it's basically the same reason why there aren't any actual attempts to bring back mammoths or anything.
Yeah.
Mainly because that specific species and genus is extinct.
For a reason.
And trying to find a mother who is willing to take Eclipse cloned seed and produce an offspring that is 1, fully fit and healthy, and 2, fertile, is going to be a ball ache at best.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But that doesn't
Yeah,
change that we
like-
can use it for analysis
Like
purposes.
cloning extinct animals can bring back some very dangerous illnesses we humans don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, but here's the thing I often worry. Most people do not have an internal Jeff Goldblum.
That is true. I won't even argue that. Okay,
Indeed.
so I think now would probably be a good time to start delving into some of these awesome topics. But first off, I know I promised Ziva some extra time, but real quick, I want to give Lone an opportunity to talk about the death battles because he asked me about that as well. So take a couple of minutes and tell me about the death battles.
What I really want to talk about is how the storyboards really changed the point of death battles. You know how we're arguing about the Bardock versus Omni-Man, how those results were rigged?
Yeah, we can make all the arguments we want about that. Like, there's a bunch of little details they got right and wrong, but go ahead.
End up the storyboard of the death battle was actually supposed to hit all the points we were talking about, like how the key blasts were actually effective against Omni-Man, how Bardock was actually blitzing Omni-Man, only his key blast was hurting him, how Super Saiyan basically destroyed Omni-Man. Like how, you know how Invincible gets beat up in every episode?
Yeah.
Just replace that with how beat up Omni-Man got as soon as Bardock went Super Saiyan. And Bardock basically died via the cost of Super Saiyan, not via Omni-Man killing him. Just like the Super Saiyan, just the cost of being in it just killed him.
Theoretically, the result isn't the worst. It's how they got to that result that sucks ass. Like, everyone who's even remotely in the know about the matchup community has memed the shit out of the Solar Disc feat.
Yeah,
and especially the frickin' Infinite from Bowser versus Eggman.
And then the whole punching through the moon thing, or punching through the planet thing.
Punching through a planet that was already exploding with the help of 2 other Viltrumites.
And if you go back to the Homelander versus Omni-Man, they scaled that to country.
There's so many things that we can say when it comes to Death Battle getting right or wrong. At this point, I don't even really care who wins it, because there's always going to be a chance they got something wrong and messed up the results. Yeah. Very rarely do they ever get it so perfectly that we can accept it as a reasonable answer. At this point, I'm just watching it because the fights are fun. Like with the latest one between Among Us and Fall Guys. Don't even give a shit who's supposed to win that one. It's just fun.
Hilarious.
Don't even give a shit who wins. Just fun.
It is very fun and very unexpected to see how powerful these 2 guys are.
It really is. Some of the stuff I didn't know. That's one of the reasons I like watching these. It's fun.
Honestly,
Fall Guys just... Oh, sorry, Connor, but I need to point out, when they examined Fall Guys and were like, oh, this is a 6-foot-tall creature who's just incapable of taking damage even from the Big Bang and, well, eats from their feet. That sounds like a survival horror monster that just stalks you throughout the levels.
Actually, they made a joke. It's like, imagine walking the street and you see this guy.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was playing. Imagine walking into a dark alley and you see him.
You just see this green guy looking at
sound
you.
effect here.
Okay, apparently Goosezilla has not seen the latest Death Battles yet, so...
Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah.
And
Holy shit, they are bangers.
And Sib has a... Someone has a question, apparently. Sig, sorry. Bich. Lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Feel free to type that in either chat, and we will answer it as quick as we can. In the meantime, though, I think now would be a good time to let Ziv have his chance to talk all about wrestling, because he didn't get a chance to talk about it last time, so I'm giving him a few extra minutes to talk about it.
But a few extra minutes won't make it today, since I have a lot to talk about.
Well, do what you can, man. Let's hear what you got to offer.
Yeah, but before I start with the wrestling topics, I wanted to say that I now have a drawing tablet and doing art for serious.
Cool.
Not just for art fight anymore.
Well,
and
awesome.
my plan is to open commissions next year.
Well, that's fantastic.
Great job. Great job. Best of luck.
I mean, it's still only a hobby of mine. But, like, that I can earn some extra money is important for me.
And I fully support that.
So...
Rom just asked if you have a link.
Do you have a DeviantArt or a Bluesky?
Oh.
I have Bluesky.
Somebody just... So, what he wanted to ask real quick was who would win between Cloud and the protagonist of Sword Art Online, Kirito?
You mean Kirito?
Cloud, probably.
I mean, Kirito, his strength comes from, like, a video game world. And, like, outside of that, he's just an ordinary human.
But if
Cloud is just a full-on soldier.
If we were to include that as an opportunity to be included, considering all the games that he's been in and explored, I'd still give it to Cloud myself. But...
You know what? Fair.
Let's go ahead and get back to Ziv.
Yeah. Now about wrestling, let me drink something first.
Take a sip.
So, So originally, I just wanted to talk about Bad Blood and Survivor Series, since these were the last two pay-per-views that happened. But I decided to do a recap of the entire year, like all the WWE pay-per-views and maybe some of AEW stuff as well. So for January, the Royal Rumble happened, which opened the road to WrestleMania, and one of the future stories that would blow off in a direction nobody had thought it would go that way. So that Royal Rumble won Cody Rhodes, which made him a second time in a row Royal Rumble winner, and he pointed to Roman Reigns at the end of the show. The following weeks was something like that can't be seen as fans upset or crowd upset, because it was never meant that Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble. CM Punk was meant to win it, but he got injured during the Rumble thanks to Drew McIntyre doing a screw job on one of his moves, like he botched his Irish DDT, or you want to call it, yeah. Or how you called into the past the Hangman DDT, yeah, he botched that sadly, and Punk got his tricep torn and was out for months after that.
Fair enough.
So they had, in the middle of the match, they just decided in the blink of an eye to make Cody the second time winner in a row. What happened the weeks after that was that during a promo of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, The Rock suddenly came out, like Roman Reigns announced The Rock. And he first came out as a face who wanted to confront Reigns. And the both of them wanted to have a match for the title, like The Rock asked for it and Reigns accepted. Then, for one of the press conferences to hype up WrestleMania XL or WrestleMania 40 in Las Vegas, during the press conference, they had a segment with Roman Reigns showing the entire family tree and blah blah blah. I don't want to go into that deep in detail. And after Roman Reigns and The Rock shake their hands to make the match clear, Cody Rhodes came out and stopped it. And then what Cody did was to insult Roman Reigns and The Rock at the same time, that their grandfathers would be ashamed if they were here. And then Rock got called out by this, spoke into Cody's face that he has a problem now with him as well, when he blames Roman Reigns' family, and slapped him into the face, which was the heel turn for The Rock, which nobody could see coming and was not planned actually. But The Rock did it on spontaneous action, and it was accepted by the writers by it. What followed the following month was The Rock got his final boss gimmick, and Hollywood Rock returned. Like the feud went back and forth, with The Rock joining the Bloodline now officially, and then in between step we had Elimination Chamber in Puerto Rico, with Damian Priest being the headliner of it because he was born there and his natives are from there. So yeah, he's partly Puerto Rican but actually lives in New York. I know it's confusing a bit.
Don't worry about it. Lineage is weird like that.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've heard weirder. I still remember my Sifu he was half Trini, half Cuban, half Puerto Rican. I'm like, how are you so many halves?
Yeah, like actually Priest is more American than Puerto Rican, like it's only a tiny bit of his heritage, but WWE uses that to advertise that country.
Yeah.
Like it's his in-ring character to be his wrestling character to be fully Puerto Rican, and wears the flag proudly.
All right, so what else?
Yeah,
happened?
like as I said, in Elimination Chamber, then nothing special happened there, so I want to skip it really, since it was only B pay-per-view and only a bridge to WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's
Since
fair.
all the WrestleMania hype was built around Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline at that point already, and the other storylines were just sidelined, and the matches weren't formed during weeklies really. Besides that, so let's move on to WrestleMania 40 Night 1, where the main event was, or I start actually with the cash-in of Damian Priest, where Seth Rollins vs. Drew McIntyre happens, where CM Punk was the commentator for the match, and Drew McIntyre actually won the match against Seth Rollins and won the title. But then he, instead of leaving the arena, he decided to celebrate and mock CM Punk by climbing on the commentary table and hold the title into his nose directly. And when Drew McIntyre turned around, CM Punk pulled his leg away that he was fall on the ground, and stomped it in with his arm device he got from the doctor. And that called Damian Priest on the plan, where he rushed out and cashed in successfully. So Drew McIntyre was a champ for an entire 5 minutes because of him acting stupid.
Yeah, that's nothing new.
Yeah.
And then, like, I can't remember every result anymore, like it was so long ago, and you can actually only remember the memorable stuff of the big pay-per-views. So for the main event of night 1, we had the final boss, the Rock team, in the tag team with the tribal chief Roman Reigns with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Whereafter, and the beginning of the match, it was a normal tag team match, but directly at the middle of the match, The Rock made it a non-disqualification match out of sudden, where he told the ring referee if he rings the bell or count them out, he's fired. Like who doesn't know it, he became the boss of TKO this year, which makes him also the boss of WWE. And he took that into his play as heel of the final boss, like he worked it into his heel character, that he's the boss of TKO and can do the fuck whatever he wants.
By the way, hello Yosh. Welcome to the
Welcome, Yosh.
And hey, Yosh, good to see you, man.
I'm sorry. I'm sick. I've been asleep for the last hour. Well, last 2 hours.
okay.
It's perfectly fine, man. You mentioned you were going to be sick if you even bothered showing up, so we understand.
Yeah, so...
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry I'm late anyway.
It's fine,
That's
man.
fine.
Like, feel free to just hang out if you can't really talk that well, man. Just you being here is what matters on the 50th episode, you know?
Yeah. Did we go over Pokemon yet?
Nah, we're still talking about
not
Civ's
yet.
wrestling thing right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't
just
gotten
started.
into the TCGs.
Can I continue, or...
Yeah, please,
Of
please
course.
do.
Yeah.
Then the match ended with that after 30 minutes with The Rock and Roman Reigns winning, by The Rock doing his finisher on Cody Rhodes and pinfall him to 3, which gave the constellation for night 2 being a Bloodline rules match, which actually means no rules at all. Yay, you could say. Then the second night of WrestleMania 40, where I go directly into the main event, where it was actually a war with the entire bloodline being involved, John Cena coming out, Jey Uso coming out, and The Undertaker coming out of nowhere. Like when The Rock had his weight belt again and wanted to slap Cody with it, the hall got dark and suddenly The Undertaker stood behind him and gave The Rock a choke slam.
So this was basically a nothing personal kid moment.
More or less.
Oh, of course.
Teleports behind you. Sup, guy? We're out of Oreos also dying.
Yeah, then... Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Seth Rollins was into that match also involved. And after The Rock and Undertaker were gone out of the ring and Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes alone again, pretty beaten up already, there was this steel chair in the ring and Roman Reigns grabbed it first, but in that moment Seth Rollins climbed back into the ring, also already pretty bad beaten, and instead of slapping Cody with the steel chair, Roman Reigns snapped and put the steel chair on Seth Rollins for the past that he betrayed the Shield. Like, that round was still deep, you could tell, story-wise. After all these years. And that actually was the screw shop that opened Cody a window to the Cody cutter, and then the triple crossroads into the pinfall. Which led him finally winning the title and ending the reign of 4.5 years of Roman Reigns being champion.
Dang.
Like you must imagine the number. He was a champ for 4.5 years. Like in the modern era, nobody pulled this off. The only ones who pulled this off in the past, in the 80s, was once Bruno Sammartino, who held a championship for 8 years total. But most of his matches were non-scripted, like wrestling in the past was more focused on skills than on writing. And the only one who's above Reigns in the old era is actually Hulk Hogan, who held the title for 5 or 6 years, I believe. But yeah, that was not modern wrestling era. In the modern era, Roman Reigns is the number one champ. So now let me think short what I wanted to tell next about. Yes. Then we had Money in the Bank next, where Drew McIntyre won the briefcase for the man and directly cashed it in and lost the cash in for a dumb idiot he was again. Like since WrestleMania 40, he always saw red when he saw CM Punk, and CM Punk always screwed him, like in that night where he directly cashed in at Money in the Bank and Punk cost him the briefcase. And for the woman, Tiffany Stratton won the briefcase, which she still haven't cashed in until today.
Huh.
Wow.
She should wait a while.
Like, I firmly believe the WWE have no ideas for the briefcase for the woman, or why she's not allowed to cash in. Like she was hot during the summer season, but somehow, yes, she got cold by now and is not hyped anymore. So, and became just the sidekick of Nia Jax. So then let's us move on to SummerSlam, where actually nothing big happened, if I remember right. Oh wait, yeah, there was. Damian Priest was betrayed by the Judgment Day.
Ah.
No, wait, that was later. At SummerSlam, Rhea Ripley got betrayed by the Judgment Day by Finn Balor, costing her the title match when she already won it in theory. Yeah. And since I want to shorten it now and to not hold you guys any longer off, I will directly move to Bad Blood, which was the first Bad Blood pay-per-view after 20 years or so, I believe. Since it was brought back. And after Hell in a Cell doesn't exist anymore as a pay-per-view. But we had a Hell in a Cell match that for the woman and the man. For the man, it was Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, which was the start of the night. And really the show stealer, like all the rest of the pay-per-view lacked the hype and couldn't keep up, which, I mean, all the wrestlers did still good and the matches were still fire, but they couldn't keep up to that one Hell in a Cell match, which could have been the main event, if you ask me. But I also don't want to go into detail of the Hell in a Cell match between Punk and Drew McIntyre because it was FSK 18 and that for a reason. Like it was like both of them were about to murder each other in the ring. And that for real. Like you thought it was a real fight and not scripted anymore. Yeah. Then I will cut short to the weeklies after Bad Blood, where we had first Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia, which nobody cares for this Blood Money pay-per-view, so let's skip that. And after that, the weeklies before Survivor Series, where we had the reunion of the OG Bloodline, where suddenly Jimmy Uso showed up after he... How was it? Yeah, Jimmy Uso showed up and super kicked the Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa out of nowhere when Reigns was fighting Solo Sikoa. And was folding hand next to Reigns, and they did hug it out in the end and became friends again. Then the weeks following after that, the reunion with Jey Uso happened, but it wasn't that smooth since Jey Uso couldn't forgive Jimmy and Roman yet how they abused him. But after a few weeks they forgave each other and became the Usos again. But Jey would only join the OG bloodline if Reigns handled them like equals and not as his little lapdogs anymore who do his dirty works. And if there would be any sign of disrespect, Jey would be out again.
Yeesh.
And Roman Reigns answered that with a simple yeet. Yeah, which was funny that he did it actually, and he pulled it off perfectly.
Fair enough.
And you could see in his face for a brief second that he enjoyed to say it.
I'm sure he did. I probably would too.
Yeah, like you could tell he's proud of what his Bloodline members became in the WWE, how they raised up their games, thanks to Reigns himself and Paul Heyman, the mastermind behind the story. Like, then a couple of more weeks went ahead where the OG Bloodline was topped by the new Bloodline all the time because of the number game. And Jimmy talked into Reigns for weeks that they should bring him back into the Bloodline. And what Jimmy meant was Sami Zayn. But Sami Zayn, like Jey Uso, refused to get back to the Bloodline because he was done with this part of his life, but at the end he was convinced that Jey told him that he's part of the family too and that it doesn't matter that he doesn't have the blood of the Anoa'i family. Then so we had Sami Uso back, but the number game was still in favor of the new Bloodline. And then for War Games, the new Bloodline had a fifth member found in Bronson Reed, so it was 5 vs 4 now. But then the SmackDown before War Games, out of sudden when Solo Sikoa talked into Reigns that he should give up right now and acknowledge him, and when they joined together, they could rule the company for centuries together as a reformed bloodline that he would still love them all for, which like was most likely mafia slang. Like in the past, he told Jimmy that he still loves him too, and then he got betrayed and totally beaten into the hospital.
Huh.
But then, they wanted to fight and got ready to fight each other. We heard ladies and gentlemen coming from the background from the gorilla position, and Paul Heyman came out with a massive pop. Like this guy doesn't need music to come out. It's simply just that he says, "Ladies and gentlemen," the entire hall goes off. Like, and you could see the smile in Roman Reigns' face when Paul Heyman returned, because the week before he tried to call Paul Heyman, but the phone said that the number doesn't exist anymore.
Oh.
Which left him in shock in his locker room, and he dropped the handy. And 1 week later, Paul Heyman returned and talked about war games, that it can't be 4 versus 5, and it needs to be 5 versus 5. So he played his old contacts and gave someone a favor, and that one who came out right after that was CM Punk. Like, he's an ex-Paul Heyman guy, and that Paul Heyman promised him any favor at any time when he joins the OG bloodline in the war against the new bloodline, which he did. And then now moving to Survivor Series War Games, to that epic match, OG Bloodline versus New Bloodline, which was the main event of Survivor Series War Games. That when CM Punk entered the ring, that Roman Reigns and CM Punk looked at each other in the face and with much hatred. But then Paul Heyman acted quickly and shouted from outside of the cage that they are partners for this match, and that they should work together to win, which they did. And we had some spectacular moves, as example from Bronson Reed going from doing a tsunami from top of the cage on the empty table after CM Punk dragged Roman Reigns down from it in the last seconds. Then we also got a double super kick against Jacob Fatu and a Uso splash through the table, which put him out too. And at the end of the match, Soli Sikoa was the only one standing of the new bloodline, and he had to eat every finisher of the OG bloodline, finished with the spear from Roman Reigns and the pinfall to 3. Yeah, and that sums it up for now. And tonight is Saturday Night Main Event, which is the first Saturday Night Main Event since the 80s, I believe. Like, they brought this mini pay-per-view back too. Who doesn't know what Saturday Main Event is? It's a event that happened in once a Saturday in every month. And for that, I can already tell the main event will be Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Championship. And as it seems, Cody Rhodes is allowed to bring back the Eagles belt, which fans awaited back. When you don't know what the Eagles belt is, Rom can probably search out a picture of it really quickly. But legends like Hulk Hogan and Bret the Hitman Hart have wielded this title belt with pride. And now Cody Rhodes is most likely the next one who wear it for at least one night, which is amazing. And also, now outside of pay-per-views, on January 6th, WWE will first move with Raw to Netflix, SmackDown and NXT, and the pay-per-views are meant to follow later on if Raw is as such. And and Netflix, and there are already rumors around that Netflix wants the OG bloodline for the Red brand. That they want some superstars, and Roman Reigns seems to be one of them. And that if Roman Reigns moves, then the entire OG bloodline will move to Raw. But my concerns with that are that ever they want a new bloodline too, which I can't think, because then the USA Network has no superstars anymore on SmackDown, and it will most likely destroy the storyline they have going on for years now. Like, I don't find this a good idea to rip Roman Reigns out of SmackDown when he was the face of the Blue brand for years. And now he suddenly gets pushed to the Red brand because Netflix wants him as a big name. Yeah, and for just a short news for AEW, Kenny Omega is about to return to in-ring action. Like, he's almost fully healed. He can't tell a exact date, but it's speculated that he will return at Tokyo Dome to 2025 in January. Like, he already confirmed that he wants to make his return in NGPV and not in AEW. Yeah, and I forgot a lot of stuff now I still wanted to talk about in this podcast, but I talked long enough, and I give the word back to Nanashi, and maybe I will remember some stuff and still can get in for a minute or two. Yeah, but that was it for me, guys.
All right, well, thank you for that. All right, so next topic on the list would be the Lorcana segment with Raven. What do you got for us, bud?
A few things. Not that big of a well, it's big news, but it's not like a lot of stuff to go over like usual, so we're gonna go in a certain order. First thing first to address, the tournament reports. I know I usually save them for last, but with Set 6, we got an expansion on the different strategies. As if, meta strategies needed any more, but these are the top 2 lists. I'm gonna post them here in the chat now. If they will load, of course. Discord is Discord.
And I'll be right back.
But first place,
As
we
Discord
got...
became more unreliable to you guys.
Basically, at times.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Zion
first
played
place
this
in the Lorcana Challenge European Championship, we got a very funny thing called Ruby Amethyst Bounce Control, where basically you beat the opponent down with Ruby/Red cards. We're seeing an appearance from the Flynn and Sisu combo, where Flynn just nets you free lore if you have a character on board who's stronger than everything, and Sisu, well, gains 1 attack for basically every card in the opponent's hand. So you can imagine how well that goes.
It seems balanced, like Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, not even. The shit's meta. But the bouncing comes from the Madam Mims, and, well, the draw engine that Amethyst just has built in itself. Basically looping draw advantage like there's no tomorrow. Alongside the other beat sticks present. But Emerald Amethyst is something to behold, because they just combined heavy draw power with control aspects from Emerald. So, as of Set 6, which I'm seeing here now at free copies, which was a very funny card, the White Rose, if I recall, I believe that's from Fantasia. Don't quote me on that, because it's been a while. But, the White Rose basically reads and says, when you play this character, you gain 1 lore. And with the occasional bouncing shenanigans going on, that can be pretty devastating. As if everything else in this fucking list wasn't. But aside from some disgusting loops and shenanigans going on in the meta scene, we got some new products to go through. I'm gonna save the biggest products for last and just go over the smaller ones. First product is a gift set, a sort of gift box with an alternate artwork for a Lilo card, which features some packs and whatnot. You know, pretty standard stuff that they're starting to do, like every other TCG before them. But then we get into something bigger. We got 2 new playmats coming, as well as 2 new sleeves. You know, accessories, gotta get that bling going on. Your TCGs. We got sleeves for. God, if I can fucking see, because I know one of them is it's Cinderella and Ursula sleeve-wise, but it's their enchanted rarity artworks, which is always nice. Playmats we can be immortals from the Big Hero 6 stuff and Pirate Tigger. And now, as I rush through the small stuff, we get into the bigger stuff that really matters here. Like, it's pretty funny. I was thinking that it was going to be a boring month, but it's actually we got the reveal of 2 new sets, set 7 and set 8, and set 8 has confirmed something that me and the rest of the player base are most definitely very fond of idea-wise. So, we got, for the newest sets, set 7 is Arcasia's Island, which is introducing some Bolt-related stuff. If anyone here remembers that movie. God, it's just dead silent here, I guess.
No, we're listening, man.
Sorry,
Yeah, I know.
what movie were you
Oh,
talking
hey,
about
we got
again?
a
My
mini.
brain didn't. Oh, Bolt.
Yeah, we got Arcasia's Island is introducing some Bolt stuff from that movie. But Reign of Jafar is where it gets really interesting because because people are predicting Reign of Jafar. It's the 4th set in the series. It's the 4th set. Well, like every 4 sets, after Ursula's return and after, the raid boss set I was talking about ages ago, how fun that was and how well received that was. People are now speculating, we're going to get a raid boss type of fight kit set with Jafar now, and people who don't know the legit lore of Lorcana, which, honest to God, Disney, stop with the live-action remakes. They're always bombing. Just make this an original series at this point. Basically, lore-wise, what built up to Jafar getting this powerful is this typical fucking conniving hypnosis bullshit behind the scenes with a lot of characters, which also happened during the Ursula stuff. She was a conniving bitch who saying the lore to people who don't know anything about it is going to sound like I'm writing the most absurd fanfic, but this is dead ass what we're working with.
How you think I
So
feel
I'm
when
not
I
going to
talk about Weiss
apologize
Schwarz?
on that front. Fair enough, but basically the stuff that built up with Ursula lore-wise was that there was 2 items of power, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna go look for them, but first I'm gonna make a clone of myself that totally won't betray me despite being, well, me. Foreshadowing, basically. They got these items of power. Ursula's about to become god. Of course, she gets backstabbed by her clone, kills the clone, then, well, she becomes she gains the power of God after absorbing herself, basically. And then you have the Illumineers challenge where you fight her. You and 3 other people fight her in a sort of automated system. So this is definitely the build-up for Jafar was very funny. Because people were speculating, okay, one of said items after Ursula got beaten was in the hands of Magica the Spell from DuckTales. So she's going to be the next boss fight. Nope. So hopefully this set will be fun. Hopefully we do continue this trend of raid boss sets. I'm trying. And aside from that, there hasn't really been any new stuff Lorcana-wise. So it was a fast segment, and speaking of fast and whatnot, after this segment I am going to have to head off, but I leave you all with a very parting gift.
Mm-hmm.
Me?
I took the liberty of doing the thing
What thing?
The very funny thing that I said I wanted to refrain myself from doing, but I just did it anyway. Deep fried jump scare and Squidward jump scare.
Fair enough. That one's actually hilarious.
While we're on the subject of Lorcana, I do want to share this real funny thing I did real quick.
Oh god, what did you do? Oh yeah, that's nonsense.
That was his mistake, guy.
That was his mistake.
Yeah, funny. Okay. Speaking of which, I did teach someone how to play, and the guy was interested in Lorcana for a while, but he was like, I don't like any of these themes. I'm not interested. It's suffering from the Weiss Schwarz problem of not having enough properties. I'm like, okay, what are you looking for? And he's like, does Lorcana have Big Hero 6 or Gravity Falls by chance? And he says this as like Big Hero 6 got like hinted at and was on the rise to being officially released. And I'm like, yeah, they announced Big Hero 6. I can let you know when they're available and I can teach you how to play it.
Big Hero 6 is coming to Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
No. Oh, silence.
No.
All right. Well, I think it's good. I think it's a good time to go ahead and move into the next topic, which would be the Digimon TCG.
Yeah, and as you all go over the Digimon stuff, I'm gonna head off. Have a nice rest of the. I got roped into helping with something, so I'll have a nice rest of the podcast.
Alright, see you, Raven.
I'll see ya.
Alright. So, Digimon, we just got some super giga leaks and reveals, specifically concerning BT20, the new starter decks, and BT21. Starting things off with BT20 over the X. We're finally getting the reveals for that set. Turns out that we're getting some new trait cards for Chronicle and Seekers. Chronicle referring to the Digimon Chronicles X manga, and Seekers being, well, the Seekers web series. And from the few that we've seen so far, it seems that the new Seekers stuff is going to be a Jogress Evolution deck for Fenrir Lugamon Takumi Kazuchi, while Chronicle is setting to be for a Jogress of Alphamon or Ryuken, which I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be like. We also got some nice little reveals for the new Tamer cards of that set, mainly from the Liberators. We got a new Yuki for the Dark Dragon Heavy Metal Dramon deck, and we also got a new Cool Boy Tamer, which is going to be, instead of X Antibody, instead it will be for the Yggdrasil Royal Knight deck. Also, hi Tim Brick.
Hey Tim, you made it.
Yeah, I just came home.
Well, good news is you didn't miss the Yu-Gi-Oh segment yet, so we're still good.
Anyway, coming back on track, I forgot to mention that EX8 is now out in Japan. I think we're due to receive it in the UK in English rather soon. If I can see it. Next year it's set to be released, EX8, which has a new Gallantmon X Antibody as a secret rare, as 3 colors, which looks pretty nutty, I will confess.
Fun fact about it being a tricolor, it's actually a reference to the different type of Digizoid that it has. Digizoid being like the type of metal in the digital world with like varying properties depending on what kind. There's red, blue, and I think the yellow is gold Digizoid.
Yeah, that makes sense, which is a very nice detail.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing stuff over in Japan, we also have got some really interesting reveals on leaks on the new starter decks of Hero of Hope and Protector of Light. Protector of Light is going to be the War Greymon deck, which actually has 2 new dual tamers, which looks like a black and green dual tamer of Izzy and Tai, and red and yellow with Sora and Kari, the Hero of Hope starter deck, which is Magnum, which is Metal Garurumon, looks to have a purple and yellow dual tamer of TK and Matt, and a blue and green dual tamer of Mimi and Joe. So that's going to be very interesting to see how they'll be implemented and what they'll do. And then we have the big Giga Leak, BT21 World Convergence, which looks to be the debut of Appmon.
And the new keyword too, which is called Link.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. And this is all just mainly leaks, so...
Well, I mean,
but I'm really interested in seeing how they'll implement Appmon into the game.
Well, I mean, to be fair about BT21, that was revealed in an official live stream.
Now that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. Same with the new keyword being Link. It hasn't been revealed what it does, but we do know that it's just called Link. We only know that it's called Link.
Fair enough. Probably gonna tie in with Appmon, my guess.
Yeah.
Because I have no clue when it comes to Appmon, so who knows what's gonna happen.
So, from the one episode that I've seen, Appmon is like all about linking one Appmon with another to gain its abilities, and depending on what Appmon you use with, that's how they achieve their evolution.
That is interesting. It's intriguing. That's interesting. Very nice. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there in the card game that's in Digimon that's been announced or done? I think there's the new LM set, which has in English, which has all these scramble cards, new Ace evolutions, and reprints of general good cards like Chaosdramon X, Death Xmon, and Shangreimon Ruin Mode. And I'm not sure what else.
That actually got released today.
Oh yeah, the new memory boost cards. I forgot about them. Which help with dual color index.
Yeah, that also got released in the little LM set that we got.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that's it when it comes to Digimon. Is there anything I've missed?
Well, there is a new chapter in the Liberators webcomic that released this week.
Oh yeah, I think that helps tie in with the new cards that got revealed. Mainly the new Cool Boy, I want to say.
Cool Boy. There was no duel in that. It was just Actually, no, I don't want to spoil it. Just in case for those who want to read the webcomic.
Probably more about just probably mystery solving, I would assume, because I've not read it in a while.
Well, there is a threat that they have established, especially the main quote-unquote villain that we have heard of right now. It hasn't been revealed who the partner is gonna be. But they did establish it, and the fact that there are 50 of them.
Oh yeah, that little sucker. That's probably gonna hint towards the Imperial Dramon Black in that was been teased in constant posters. That's my guess.
They actually showed it in the most recent chapter. Not in a duel, granted, but they did show it.
There we go. I think that's it.
All right. Well,
now that I've said my thing for Digimon, given the time and the fact that I need to get up early tomorrow to help with shopping, I'm gonna have to sadly head off. So nice being here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Perfectly fine, man. You take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right. See you all.
Bye.
All right. Well then.
Nanashi?
Yes.
Could I get another minute?
Sure, go ahead.
I remembered something I still wanted to say.
Sure, go right ahead.
What I also wanted to talk about is the New Day on Raw. Like they had, there was a conflict between Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston for weeks brewing up, and was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Last week, they had the celebration of 10 years of the New Day, where Adam Pearce congratulated them in the ring, and Xavier and Kofi thanked the fans for all the support, and then they wanted to talk about their situation, that they have made a really hard decision. And at that moment, Big E comes out and confronts the two in the ring like he's expecting a big reunion, and he wants to talk with them about the dispute and wants to bring them together. And in the end, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are back together, but not as Big E expected, because he got kicked out of the New Day. With made Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston turn heel at the same time, and Big E suddenly got over as big babyface. And honestly, the lines Xavier and Kofi dropped towards him let me only think that he got medical cleared already, or is about to be medical cleared, or they wouldn't have been allowed to be such harsh to him. Like Xavier dropped to him that he will never be medical cleared again and that he should return to his desk. And this week on Raw, Xavier and Kofi went out to the ring to explain themselves, but they got the Dominic Mysterio treatment and couldn't say a word at all for how loud they were booed out. And even got applaud when they gave up and left the ring. Like, not even Dominic pulled that off. Okay, yeah, that was what I forgot to tell about.
That's fine.
I remember Dominique was pretty hated.
Yeah, but nowadays he's hated in a good way, like he's respected within the locker room and by the fans.
All right, well, the next topic on the list would be Pokemon, and the only news that I have that's really worth mentioning is that an artist by the name of Tetsuo Hara, who is one of the guys who worked on Fist of the North Star, drew a Palafin card, and it looks just like the art style from that show, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Can you post it?
I don't have a link to it on hand. If I had to take a guess, Ron will probably find it before I do.
I got one sec.
Oh.
Oh yeah, related Pokemon here would be Palworld no longer using spheres as their catching mechanic.
Oh yeah, because Nintendo's being a butt and patenting everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're being a baby.
What else is new?
It's like soon, everything you do in the game is.
And yet, Nintendo has won another case thanks to Judge Donkey Kong and lawyer Super Mario.
They haven't won the case.
Here we go.
I mean, they technically did when Palworld gave up on the spheres.
And there it is.
No, they still have spears. They just changed the animation because Pokemon was copyrighting the ability to throw spears at a distance.
Yeah.
And basically, Nintendo patented the ability to throw stuff in game. If you throw something in game, Nintendo patented it. That's how it works.
What?
Yes, they're patenting the gameplay mechanics, not the gameplay.
Damn, who knew the more money you make, the smaller your ego gets.
Also,
the smaller your what's it called?
Here's the other patent.
The more fragile it gets in them.
Here's the other two patents. Let me need to explain. They're patenting the ability to mount in general. That doesn't extend to creatures. So basically, you get into a vehicle in GTA 6, it's technically going against Nintendo's patent against mounting a vehicle or creature.
Hey.
And the final act is having a anyone fight for you. So, aka having an NPC from a game or using a summon for Final Fantasy technically will break the pattern because you're not fighting it yourself. You're having something else fighting it. Another one is capturing stuff in general. Just like anything in general. If you're fishing, that technically counts as catching, and Nintendo holds a patent. And crafting. So if you play Minecraft, that's Nintendo's property. That's what Nintendo are claiming. Trying to get all the patents. It's not the design of Power itself, it's the gameplay systems. They're just using Power as a scapegoat so they could get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's so BS.
What a hawk of.
Yeah, that's why. And people don't know it's about that because they're assuming it's about the Power, how they accuse it looking like Pokemon. But no, it's just the system of playing a game, which can extend to games in the past.
No,
I like to remind
people think it's for the designs. I'm agreeing with you.
And they're suing a game that's been out for a year already.
Yeah, like
the patents. And they're suing a game that's been out for a year already. That means they could do that with any game that's already released.
yes, like imagine Activision would sue Rockstar because in GTA they use the same guns as in Call of Duty. That would be as stupid as the current case with Nintendo and Pocket Pair.
Yeah, it's like it's just because not guns. It's just because they point something at someone else. That's how bad it is. It's like the ability to point in game is equivalent to what you just said. That what Nintendo's going for.
Yeah, it kind of is. I get what he's getting for. So let's go ahead and move into the next topic, which would be Cardfight Vanguard. I'm sure there's probably some news to talk about there.
Oh yes, there is.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this. But yesterday, they did reveal that the next season of Vanguard the Vines is going to be happening. When? That's a good question. I have no idea. But it is going to be happening soon. Actually, speaking of Divines, I think the 5th set released, I think, sometime this week. Hold on. Yeah, it got released today. Neat.
Oh, well, that's something else to look forward to. Add it to the list.
Yeah. Which this set actually contains probably my favorite of the Destined 1 cards, Odium, which just has the ability to skip your opponent's turn. So that's fun.
Wonderful. That's all we need is more turn skip mechanic.
Yeah, although to be fair, this one is once per fight.
Sorry about that.
So you don't have to worry about like Odium just skipping your turn constantly. Just once and then that's it. As for specific cards, there weren't really any of interest to me specifically. Oh yeah, never mind. There is one. Erlich Gewinner, which just has the ability to just search your deck for an arena, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and the arena was not put into your order zone this turn, just play an arena from your hand. This is very much needed because the deck in question is a bit slow. Like you can only play like one order per turn. So the fact that this like helps like speed up, because like playing an order by an effect doesn't count to your overall order per turn. It speeds it up a little bit. Though you're not allowed to play two at the same. Yeah, you're not allowed to play two at the same turn due to how it's worded. And you actually need to play this first before you play your order for turn. But nevertheless, it is very much needed. And it has a second effect, which I actually didn't care enough. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Rotovisor in this card name, this unit gets plus 2k, and your other rear guards in the same column as this unit cannot be retired by your opponent's card effects. Okay, this is actually pretty nice.
Yeah, that's just to tell Dragon Empire eat a dick.
Pretty much.
But now we talk about our Lord and Savior, Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion, the Blood. This new version of Blood, if you have the OG in Soul, he gets +5 permanently. Not during. Oh wait, it is just during your turn. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, he gets a crit. Your front row gets +5. This being free is a godsend. And the crit actually helps because of the phantom damage. Once per turn, Soul Blast 1. He punches Vanguard and 2 other rear guards. You kind of expect this from Vermilion, but instead of a Counter Blast now, it's a Soul Blast, which he's gotta be careful about. Because there's already plenty of shit that eats soul in this deck, and this won't get enough times to fire if you don't time it correctly. And the second one, after he attacks, if you play the order and they have 4 or less damage, pitch 1, deal a phantom damage, as Vermilion should. There's some obvious flaws, but once we get into the next stuff, Demonic Dragon Nymph Caution, who, thank God, counts as an Narukami if you have an Narukami Vanguard, which you will.
Yeah, I was about to say, which given the deck in question, you will.
When this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have a Narukami Vanguard, which you should, check top 7 for a Vermilion or the Order Eternal Thunderbolt. Show it to your opponent. If you showed something, you either discard or put a card from hand into Soul. This is helped to make sure you always have Soul to fire for Vermilion's effect. If she swings, CB, you have Vermilion. CB1, she gets 10k but binds herself. This is to help bring back Rising Phoenix. Although you would probably say the CB1 is bad, this deck does not eat Soul. This deck does not eat Counterblast. You're more likely to eat Soul than Counterblast in this deck. And now, Bella Costly is back. Although this is a Kagero card, we're playing this shit in Vermilion. If your Vanguard has only one clan and you have no G-Zone, you get these effects. If he hits the field, Energy Blast 3, this is our second card that eats energy, put a card from your hand into your soul, draw 2. It's a walking destiny draw. For everything but Shiranui. God bless. If he swings, he gets +5. Well, when your Vanguard swings, he gets +5. That's more meant for Overlord. You are playing this in Overlord, and you are playing this in Vermilion. Because this is another way to shove OG Vermilion into Soul for the blood, and this is also another way to shove our Lord and Savior into the end. That sounded dirty when I said it, but I am done.
All right, well, the next topic on the list then would be Weiss Schwarz, and there's quite a few things to discuss here, but I'm going to try and keep them to a minimum. The Bushiroad Championship Series is a tournament that's been going on for a while, and they've had a few tournaments recently. On November 9th in Duluth, Georgia, the first place winner was playing the new Shakugan no Shana set, which is technically an incomplete set. It's imported only as a booster set. It's a long story. But the week after in Modling, Austria, the first place winner was playing the Chainsaw Man Green-Blue deck, which means the ban list might not have had as much of an impact as we thought it would. The weekend after in Houston, Texas, the first place was playing the Reincarnated as a Slime deck, a red-yellow-blue Rimuru Murin build, which shows that Murin is still alive and well. December 7th in Melbourne, Australia, the first placed player was using 7 Deadly Sins Yellow-Blue Elizabeth Hendrickson, which is still an incredibly competent build, apparently. In Portugal on the same weekend, the first place player was using a slime build, red, yellow, blue, Rimuru Murin, just like the last one. There's a tournament on the Philippines in the same weekend. First place player was actually playing a Spy Family build, a yellow-blue mix using Lloyd and Anya, which I'm actually kind of happy to see. And there was also a tournament in Mexico City, Mexico, where the first place player was using a slime build that was red-blue Milim Murin, which is cool, I guess. As far as new products concerned, the only new products released recently were the Love Live School Idol Festival 2-pack, which I'm grateful is finally off my list, and the new Freerim Beyond Journey's End set is officially out, which I believe Yosh was excited for. And as far as...
No, I'm excited for the Booty Rock one. I know it's already out, but that's the one I was excited for. I'm not really big on Fear.
I understand. And we did get a couple of announcements. We finally got a release date for Goddess of Victory Nikke, which is going to be on April 18th, and the Rurouni Kenshin pack set is going to be out on May 30th, which is just a couple of weeks after my birthday, so I am excited. Now, as far...
Honestly, sorry for taking so long. I couldn't hit the mute button for some reason. Honest to God, not sure how I'm going to top giving you a dual disc for Christmas, which I know I already told you, which is why, like, I'm not even going to bother pretending like it's a surprise.
Don't even worry about it, man. See, I'm at a point in my life where I appreciate anything and everything I get, especially if there's thought put into it. I have a shelf full of nothing but the cool stuff that I've been given exclusively by you. And it's ever growing. And yes, really. And now we can finally deep dive into the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff.
Yeah.
The first bit of news is I just found out that somebody is making a Dungeon Dice Monsters emulator. It's currently in development, and beta 3.0 is officially out.
Nice.
Yeah. I've bought it, but I have no one to play with.
I'll play it if I figure out how to.
I used to play it way back in the day because of the anime, obviously, and it was fun, but the rules were always a little mixed up and muddled. It didn't make perfect sense. I'm hoping the emulator will help fix that.
Oh, you mean Dungeon Dice Monsters. I was thinking of something else. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Did you play the game of it where the Dark Magician Girl was impossible to get? Even though
I did actually play the physical game. I ended up getting an Exodia before I got Dark Magician Girl. First and only pack I ever got, I got Exodia.
Nice.
Like they teased Dark Magician. They never made it.
Of course. Be the most fond after item in that whole pack set. Now, as far as Master Duel is concerned, we have received a new ban list, which is going to go into effect as of last week, where they banned Pot of Prosperity, limited Dimensional Shifter, Fairy Tale Snow, and Cyframe Gamma, semi-limited Lightning Storm, as if that's nothing new, and unlimited Chronograph Sorcerer and Trickstar Light Stage. And then they added an additional part to this list where they unlimited a bunch of stuff. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, Ib World Chalice Justiciar, Nightmare Goblin, Nightmare Mermaid, and Dragonic Diagram.
Selection pack right there.
No.
Yeah.
Masterpiece gave me PTSD when I was younger.
Dude,
no.
Everybody has Towers nightmares, alright?
It's back.
Yep. Let's see. After that, let's see. The new Duel Pass has started, and the only thing really of note as far as the prices are concerned is that we're getting a Snowman Eater mate, which I kind of like. It's cute.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Side note.
They had
in terms of the previous cards, they're bringing back Luna from 5D's deck finally.
Oh yeah,
the
Luna might actually gain some modernized support.
Yeah, if the
or any relevant.
Yeah, if the stream has anything to say about it. Let's see. We also had the Xyz Link Festival come and go, and the only thing of note there is that Infinitrain's Evil Life Twin Sprite and Raid Raptors were all loner decks for that. I haven't gotten that far yet, Rom, but thank you. There was also the Extra Zero Festival, which was an event where you could only use decks that had no extra deck, and they offered Shining Sark, Therion, and Gishki as loaner decks, which was kind of neat.
You get to use Dark Ruler.
Oh yeah, I guess you could.
I would have wanted to play Demise.
Oh yeah, Ritual decks would have probably been really fun during that event. Let's see. Then there was the Tryout Duel Time Travel 2014, which went from the 29th to December 2nd, where you can only use cards up to the OCG's release of June 21st, 2014, which I think is Necros era over there, if not slightly after.
Wasn't like
Actually, slightly
Shockmaster not
before.
available during that time?
I could not tell you. That was over 10 years ago. Let's see. But if that is the time frame, then that means that would be right around the time that Necros and Zoo and all that good stuff was prime. Let's see. Then there was the Duelist Cup, which has started and is now running until December 23rd. The only prizes really worth mentioning are the White Forest Field, which looks nice, the Rika Mate Base, which is just a giant snowflake, and a matching icon frame. The reward pack, however, is garbage, because one of the prizes in it is a Tamias fusion.
Oh my god.
But as in one of the fusions recurring Tamias or something else?
The Tamias 3-in-1 fusion itself is one of the top labeled prizes in that pack.
Weird. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, very. Let's see. Then there's the new selection packs, one of which is Invincible Aces, which includes Masterpiece, Dragoon, Nightmare Mermaid, Avramax, and Ib Justiciar, which makes sense given the ban list. As well as the selection pack Chaotic Showtime, which has Diabelle's Sinkeeper, Diabelle Queen of White Forest, Chaos Exceeds Gimmick Puppet, Fanatic Machinix, Silhouette Rabbit, and Trickstar and Noble Angel. So if any of you are playing those decks, have fun with that. And a new...
Nightmare Goblin's mediocre.
A little bit. And a new secret pack, True Draco's Forging, which has True King, True Draco, and all the lore-adjacent pendulum archetypes mixed into it.
Neat.
Now, let's get to that goddamn ban list.
And before we talk about the ban list, the review for the ban list was hype.
Oh yeah, no. That's the first thing we need to discuss. The way they revealed the ban list might be the most entertaining thing they have ever done, ban list-wise, in the 25 years that they have played this game. That I have played this game. And I gotta give them props for that much. The list itself, however, that's another matter.
Leaves a lot to be desired.
It really did. It's like I said in my ban list review video, it feels like they shortchanged us. It feels very limp-wristed.
And also setting up a video, basically describing because Gimmick Puppet Nightmare and Jogan the Spiritualist got banned instead of Sanctifier.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
it's almost as if it has a certain power that stands by it.
Also, Raw's Disciple is still legal.
But yeah, let's just rip through this real quick. They banned Gimmick Puppet Nightmare, Jowgen the Spiritualist, and Original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, which is the third one I'm okay with.
One.
Because it means that Snake Eye and Fire King can no longer be a shared deck. At least I don't think they can.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
They also limited Tenpai Chandra, Phantom of Yubel, Sangen Kaiman, and Zodiac Barrage. The 3 limits make sense, but woo. And the unlimited is cool. Like, Dryden's still banned though, so who cares?
Yeah.
Semi-limits...
Yubel should never been an unlimited thing to do. Phantom of Yubel.
Yeah.
It should never have.
Let's see. The semi-limits were at least a little bit interesting. Danger Jackalope and Noodle are back to 2, as well as Eva and Monkey Board, and personal favorite Cyberjar back to 2.
Ooh, funky.
Yeah, I love Cyberjar. It's hilarious as a card. It makes no sense.
Yeah. It never does.
And
no,
then...
I like the idea that Cyberjar came out of lockup and he's wondering what year is it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Link monsters.
He's gonna have a field day. Dude, imagine flipping up Cyberjar, hitting your opponent's entire board, and then them just summoning hand traps out of their deck.
I would laugh.
Ugh.
I would dead ass just laugh.
And as far as the Unlimits, they now gave us back all 3 copies of all the Dragon Rulers, Luna Light Tiger, Rescue Ace Airlifter, Thunder Dragon Colossus, the Ib Synchro, and Opening of the Spirit Gates, because, you know, they finally hit you, Bill, directly.
Also, Pinkertops.
Oh yeah, and Pankratops. I actually forgot about Pankratops for half
Wow,
a second.
I cannot wait for the Dragon Rulers to come back at 3 and do absolutely nothing.
I really hope you're right. Especially
And
if it's
we
coming
know
in the near future.
And about 1-for-1, that is not true because sure you can search it with trust, but for trust you need to rely on your opponent being dumb enough to put something on the field on turn 0. Or congrats, you now sit on a 1-for-1 you can't even use this turn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the fact of the matter is, the ban list did fix some problems, but obviously the decks that are will still be, except maybe Tenpai. That's a little on the fence.
Yeah, I feel like Tenpai is noticeably screwed.
Well, yeah, they don't want people buying into cheap decks anymore. Tenpai was the first budget-friendly competitive deck by nature that we've had in this game in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the must do it's still dominating like it got butt shot so hard in a consistency term. Like they only have 1 D-shifter left and no pot anymore. And I'm still running through the Duelist Cup recently.
Oh, you're talking about Master Duel.
Yes. If anything, they become more consistent without D-shifter.
That is true. Now, as far as new TCG product, we finally got our hands on Quarter Century Bonanza, which is a crap ton of reprints, as well as Deck Build Pack Crossover Breakers. I believe that Malice and Ryujinx are going to be competitively viable, while the other archetype is not.
What do you mean? Well, Ryujinx was like the winning of the YCS. It was the winner of the YCS.
Well, you got to remember, I don't watch the tournaments extensively. I'm just keeping an eye on information about them.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, do I have that right, that those are the 2 that are going to be competitive, whereas the third one doesn't really have that?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Oh, and they finally released Speed Duel Battle City Finals box, I believe. And then, for the upcoming products, the Structure Deck Blue Eyes White Destiny has been delayed by a week, from February 7th to February 14th. Woo.
Weird.
Yeah, now it's a Valentine's Day gift.
Yeah.
We have
At least you know what to do.
Yeah. We have started getting information about the new Quarter Century Stampede, though, which is coming out on April 11th, and they've announced some interesting cards. They announced...
Quarter Century... Next year, that's funny as fuck.
Yeah. They announced Miscellaneousaurus, Extra Hero Cross Crusader, Cyber Dragon Infinity, Salamangreat Raging Phoenix, Chamber Dragon Maid, Molcharmi Fuelos.
They did not hear our word. Where's Air Neos?
As well as Masterpiece. As well as Masterpiece, Lovely Labyrinth, and Petite Moth.
Why
yeah, Petite Moth, the fan voted one. That was voted because memes.
Yes, thank you, No. He died for our misplace.
No, but here's the thing. I'm happy that Raging Phoenix is not gonna cost $30 anymore, so I can finally finish my United States of Veganism deck. But did they deadass just make Petite Moth?
And they tried to make sure we're not getting Air Neos. That's all I'm saying.
Probably.
They're trying to make sure we're not getting him. Conspiracy theorists right here.
Sadly. Let's see. Oh, new information about the Quarter Century Trinity box. We finally got to look at that Dragon Maid support.
Neat.
Apparently it's good. It's very good.
Oh, yeah. Chamber Dragon Maid's actual dragon form is surprisingly good. It protects your fusions. It's bounce back to hand, special summons another one from deck, and you can discard it to special summon one from graveyard, I believe it is.
It doesn't summon from deck, it summons from hand.
My bad. And
He's thinking of the fusion.
Right.
That does
right.
that.
The new contact fusion that doesn't require a fusion spell summons from deck, and also fusion summons during either player's standby phase by returning materials on the field and banish pile back to the deck.
That's interesting.
And yes, the entire Dragon Maid archetype is getting reprinted in that Japanese box, but not a clue if that's going to translate over here. We don't even know how we're getting these cards.
Man, the Dragon Maid fans were like waiting for Chamber to get her dragon form. Now they have to wait for this new fusion to get her dragon form now. Another 5 more years, I say.
Could be. Let's see.
5 more years. 5 more years.
5 more years.
Yep, 5 more years. Yeah, it probably will kill the white out of my system. So, the only other things worth noting are the 2 new products that they've announced over in Japan. One of which is Deck Build Pack Justice Hunters.
Yeah.
I would be curious.
I have no idea what that's going to be, but I'm predicting a police-themed archetype.
A warrior theme one at least.
Probably.
No, here's actually something. What if it's a new type of hero?
It could be.
Maybe. Oh, that's a stretch. Be a hell of a stretch.
Hero.
Maybe it's an archetype that interacts with Ally of Justice and finally gets some playability.
Or S-Force.
Oh, maybe. I didn't think of that.
I would also love if, like, maybe when they do Justice Hunters, I would also love maybe some heroes in it, but I'm curbing my breath for it.
Who knows? All I can say is whatever's coming, I hope it's good. Or at least interesting. And the only other product they mention is the new core set, Alliance Insight, which drops in Japan on January 25th, so we should probably be seeing it around late April, early May. But they did announce a few things in it.
Heraldic Beasts, which I think that was on nobody's
radar.
Yeah, 2 main deck monsters, 2 Xyz monsters, and a quick play spell, all of which is basically just designed to make number 69 playable.
You got that Draco, Cardfight Draco Sepilia effect. Really does.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting too, because it does work with those. It does work with the whole character of the deck's user.
Heraldry Crest went from the worst of the Heraldry Xyz to the one you prioritize summoning, which is funny.
Number 69 got 3 new names. Got 3 total cards with its name on it now. Well, 4 if you count the
which being the forms it has in the anime.
I know. Let's see. There's also the Skull Servant support, which is 1 main deck monster and a continuous spell, and I love that shit.
The Bone Zone! The Bone Zone!
Show title.
No.
Rather stop beating the allegations of him meaning support into existence.
They're not beating the allegations.
Could I have Rada meme a new Phoenix Enforcer into existence?
Could Rada please meme the rest of the Penguin support into existence, please? Give us Penguin Lord.
Give us the other 2 penguins on that penguin fighting hero group.
Mm-hmm.
2 more is missing.
I would want a level 8 and maybe an Oxel Synchro for penguins.
Maybe.
That'd be funny.
And the last thing to mention as far as the Alliance Insight stuff is they did in fact announce more Dragon Ruler support.
Not gonna lie, I did not expect this to happen with our current ban list too.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I have expected this to happen the whole time. There's a reason I don't like Dragon Rulers.
Really?
Let me guess, you were traumatized by them.
Like I said before, the only time I ever beat them was once by sheer dumb luck with a Jirac deck I designed to be stronger than them in attack points. That is the only reason I did well with that deck.
Here's actually something. The Dragon Ruler, I actually find it interesting that they have their own special Xyz that requires 2 rank 7s.
Yeah, it's a funny. That Xyz is funny. It becomes a towers. Also banishes all your opponent's monsters with the same attribute. That's the funniest shit ever.
2 baby main deckers, 3 Xyz monsters, and a quick play spell that basically does burial from a different dimension.
Also, for like, Xyz summoning into that rank, then that one rank 7 that banishes all your opponent's cards.
Well, all their monsters
Summon
whose
all your
attributes match
opponent's-
what you add to it, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Funniest.
I have expected this. They said back in the day that Dragon Rulers were not supposed to be a deck, they were just supposed to be generic support for attribute and dragon-based decks. And now they come out with this, which means either they were lying or they changed their mind.
Changed their minds.
They changed their minds.
Change their mind.
Also, I just look at this, and I'm like, I bet there's gonna be somebody that's gonna bring this to Nats and try to traumatize me with this.
Dragon.
Hey man, a died 2014, reborn 2024.
10-year gap, just like
10-year
D&D
gap.
archetypes. I think the price on Dragon Capture Jar is about to skyrocket.
Yes.
I personally don't think so.
It's a
'cause-
joke, dude. I'm literally kidding.
but-
Nobody
but-
would play Dragon Capture Jar without a major retrain.
It's like they're gonna start main
Can I say something about the Dragon Ruler support?
Of course.
It's not related to, it's not towards the new support, but rather somebody reacting to it. Go to Nova. He was looking at the new support, and then he was over here looking at their big bad boss monster that requires all 6 to be as attached to it as material. And then he was like, "How are we supposed to attach the light and dark to it as a material?" He even said out loud that it requires 2 rank 7s, and immediately forgot. You would tend to summon those. You tend to summon it with the 2 new Xyz that they got. Also, so he was looking through how you're supposed to attach them. And when he looked at the materials again, he was like, "Oh, that's how."
Classic Yu-Gi-Oh player moment, reading moment, classic.
And yes, as Double Helix mentioned, actually, if you look in the back of the artwork of that Link 5 Goddess monster, it looks like the White Dragon rank 7 is actually in her card artwork.
Oh yeah, true. I almost forgot about that.
That means that theoretically, we might get another High Link with the Dark one in their card art too.
Or something that I thought is funnier. Goddess Link 5 Dragon Ruler confirmed.
No, here's actually my idea. You know that dragon on Underworld Goddess? What if he comes out as a Link 3 by himself?
Maybe that's interesting.
Because Moon would be Link 2, the dragon would be Link 3, the goddess
But
herself.
doesn't Goddess require at least 4 effect monsters?
Yeah, at least 4. But hey, it can have the effect. Oh, it just cheated 3 materials or something. The dragon, it could have that effect.
How about the dragon puts a token on your opponent's field?
Maybe.
That's an
Maybe.
effect.
Maybe it could summon a monster from your graveyard to their board.
That would be, or better. How about you summon one of the Link materials to either player's field?
Yeah, that could work.
Wait. Hold on. What's the Link 2 called? The one that's just a Okay, thank you.
So yeah, this is interesting stuff. Honestly, it's it leads to a lot of possibilities that could pop up into the future. There it is.
Yes, it can.
What?
Rom just pulled up Closed Moon.
Oh, hello.
Okay. You can talk one face monster your opponent controls his components to. Oh. Okay. So, here's a thought. Say like the Link 3 actually did special summon a thing to the opponent's field. You can use Closed Heaven to just target that. If you summon it to a zone she points to, so that way you could yoink it and whatever monster, like what problematic monster your opponent has on their board. Like just yoink them.
That'd be funny.
We all heard that, right?
Yeah.
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 Someone's got Metro.
Yeah. I suddenly had Nokia flashbacks for half a second. Alright, well, I've run out of topics to talk about, and the show's been pretty damn good so far. Do we have anything else we want to discuss real quick before we call it a night?
I do want to discuss some Rush Duel things real quick.
Sure.
First off, we have we got to reveal a new summoning mechanic, Ritual Summon.
Oh,
which
right.
by the looks of it which by the looks of it actually looks like it's going to be an extra deck mechanic.
Yeah,
I do not know how I feel about that, because I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, at that point, why bother with fusing? You can just ritual summon. It does the same thing at this point.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have specific materials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, here's technically another thing to talk about.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Sesame Street.
They're ending Sesame Street.
Well, not ending. It's just currently the whole Sesame Street thing is trying to look for a new studio to help them.
Which I'm sure some studio might gobble them up, but I guess we'll see. I half expected this to happen.
Yeah.
That's a damn shame.
Warner Brothers, what are you doing?
No, not Disney. Not Disney.
No, not Disney.
Calling it now. We're going to see an announcement by the next podcast saying Disney's trying to get it.
And then Capcom gets it for some reason.
Of course, they will try to get it. They buy everything that is not on the tree at the count of 3.
Yeah.
Wait, how did the 10?
Okay. Anyways, continuing on, we have the first maximum with interchangeable parts.
Oh, neat.
Which
Really?
I mean,
That's cool.
yeah, which is the Dino Maximum of all things. Why they decided to go with the Dino Maximum, I'll never know.
Dinosaurs go raw.
But the two new pieces that Dynamix has are actually really good. We got new legend monsters. One of which being Superconductor Tyranno.
Ah.
And the other being Lightning Vortex. The third one they revealed is just a Summon Skull reprint. We got a new fusion for the Delirium series of cards, which I'm not too familiar with, but then again they are a recent series, so go figure. And a Super King Rex reprint. And that's pretty much all I got. Oh yeah, Raditz Maximum.
Ah,
Raditz Maximum got revealed.
Well, alright then.
Yeah, now that's everything.
Okay. Well, I guess if there's nothing else to talk about, we can go ahead and call it a show here.
Yeah.
Sure.
Alright, then, okay. Didn't expect someone to leave that quickly.
And then that's it.
Alright, then, I guess we'll just
Wait,
go...
wait.
But
We just got some a reveal for Yu-Gi-Oh!
We did?
Selection 5 Quarter Century Edition. Which appears to be for Asia English.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a different format from us in a way.
Yeah, but it is kind of neat to see them getting cool stuff over there. It means that they get to see the side of the game that we see and how we read it and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It appears to be Magistus, Invoked, Trained, Live Twin, and Dragon Maid related.
Looks like it, yeah. Alright, well, that was cool, but it looks like Rom's typing something. I want to see what he's got to say real quick. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else, because this is a important episode after all. I want to end on something kind of cool. I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, I love how the pack says that it's for 9 years or older.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which is really funny. Also, 4 cards per pack.
Oh.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Little bit. I mean, good on them for getting the cards nonetheless, but yeah, even our value packs still come with a minimum of 5.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Like the element, like the attribute sets, they got 5.
I guess we'll just say that we're looking forward to the stream that's going to be coming out soon, as well as the 2 new episodes of online web series that we have to watch, and just see where the next year takes us.
Yeah, that reminds me. I need to see if Ultraman Arc has premiered already. Says that too is getting a new episode, which is funny.
Oh yeah, a lot of new things coming out today, apparently, for no reason whatsoever.
Yep.
All right.
Well, for Ultraman Arc, it is like a weekly thing, to be fair.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's just go ahead and call it an episode here. This has actually been pretty nice, all things considered. Pretty mellow. So, yeah. All right, then we'll just call it here. Thank you, everybody, for coming out to our 50th episode. We really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and watch us, especially with this big milestone for our show. Now, we normally record every episode at the first Friday of the month, but given that next year starts a new year, that means the next podcast is going to be on January 10th instead, so that we have the chance to get all the alcohol out of our system.
Joke's on you. I don't drink.
How's that a joke on me? How's that a joke on me?
I don't think weed counts as a drink for me, but okay.
I'm pretty sure you can infuse that shit into tea.
Fair.
But in the meantime, thank you everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, and Merry Christmas.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.